Episode 23. Welcome back. Yeah, I've got earphones in this time, not headphones, because my aux cable decided to break. So I can't use my headphones, so I'm having to use these, which are either pink or red, I'm not too sure. And I kind of hate earphones because I just don't like the fact that it's in my ears. It's like, yeah. Anyways, episode 23, and we're going to be uncovering Stoic lies, and Stoic mistakes, and the things that people things that people think are true about Stoicism, but aren't. Right? Maybe a quick podcast today. I don't know, but we're going to get straight into it. So yeah. Well, before we do, actually, I hope you've had a nice week. Hope you've had a nice day. It is currently 8:05 for me right now. Boom. This is a bit late filming this, but it is what it is. I'm still getting it filmed. The first mistake people have about Stoicism is thinking it is all about having no emotions. That is far from the truth. Okay, the truth of Stoicism and emotions is that it's to not be controlled by emotions. That's the goal of Stoicism, to not be controlled by emotions, not being emotionless. Stoics cried, Marcus Aurelius had to bury his dead children, and it was emotionless then. Of course he would cry. He even got upset about he had an old friend and who betrayed him, and the guy who betrayed him got killed, and he started crying and weeping because he couldn't forgive him, and he couldn't have got a lesson out of it. So yeah, but it just shows it, Stoics do have emotions. It's just they don't let them control them. They don't let them get to the extreme where it's out of the control, where they do stupid things. Because when you study Stoicism, you'll learn to keep your emotions in control, and that's what the virtues help you with. With wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage. I said it in wrong order, kind of, but there's no order. But yeah. So. And Seneca says no amount of philosophy can change your natural feelings. I think something like that. I'll put it up just to make sure, but to go along with that. But yeah, that is one of the things he said. So yeah, Stoicism doesn't mean you have no feelings. It's much better than that. It's not being controlled by them, it's being in control of them. Another mistake people get about Stoicism is thinking it's just rich white men. No, it's not. Okay, I get philosophy has that stereotypical thing of it just being older men or rich white men, but Stoicism isn't, and a lot of philosophers aren't that. But sticking to Stoicism, it's not. There was a man called Epictetus, and he was a slave for 30 odd years. So that proves a point. There was even Stoics would practice living below means, technically, sleeping on the floor and wearing cheap clothes and all that stuff. So they were essentially they practiced a poor life. Even Marcus Aurelius did, who was the emperor, so if they lost everything, they'd be used to it, if you know what I mean. It's one of the things that they teach you to do in real life, So could you cope with wearing a £5 shirt or something, something like that? Stoics weren't just rich white men. There was also women as well. There was someone called Portia, and what she did, she was actually a very brave Stoic. Her husband didn't think she was good enough to keep these secrets. So what she did was stab herself to prove that she was. It's quite remarkable, quite gory as well. A lot of Stoicism actually is kind of gory. But yeah, Stoicism isn't just for rich white men. Stoicism is for everyone. It doesn't matter what colour skin you are. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. Stoicism is for you, and it says there's no better life for philosophy than yours. That's one of the things the Stoics would say. So, yeah, your life is perfect for philosophy, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. So another mistake a lot of people think is it's just rich white men, and that was a lot of people to do with it, but it's not. It's for anyone and anyone taught it. That's what I like about Stoicism as well. There's different sides, there's different amount of people. It's not just one thing. You have Epictetus the slave, and you have Marcus Aurelius the emperor. You have Seneca, who was he was kind of rich as well, but he was into I think it was on counselling or something. I'm not too sure, but he would write a lot as well. So there's a lot of different people, like Zeno. I mean, he lost everything, and he discovered Stoicism. So yeah, the cause of him losing everything is what made him discover Stoicism. So it's not just for rich white men. Isolation. That's another thing people think. People think that if you study Stoicism, you just isolate yourself. That, again, is false. Okay. Stoicism is for everyone. It's for you, but it's also for the people around you. You know, like the virtue of justice is about being a good person to other people. It's about teaching people right. You know, so yeah, Stoicism includes you, but also the rest of the world. Like, what isn't good for the bee isn't good for the hive. That's one of the quotes. Another Stoic quote, I think Marcus Aurelius said that, meaning that if it's not good for you, it's not good for the world. And on the other hand, if it is good for you, it is good for the world. You know, so part of Stoicism is to bring people close to you and to be a better person to yourself, but also to other people just as much. So you can't go around saying Stoicism is isolation. In fact, it would more get you out of isolation. It would get you to get out in the world, you know, and like what can cause isolation rather than lack of friends. And it says in there to make good friends, and one of the worst things to have is bad friends. So yeah, it was also like, if you isolate yourself because you're worried about what people think, Stoicism teach a lot of things about not worrying what people think. Like, you have to appear stupid to become great at something. One of my favourite quotes is, I translate it because it was an old English version, but it's opinions are just made up things to scare children. That's another thing, you know. So Stoicism isn't about isolation. Essentially, it's about getting out in the world and doing more stuff in life. You know, and like even Zeno, again, the founder of Stoicism, he would go out on walks and talk to other Stoics and discuss things. So Stoicism isn't isolating yourself, it's getting out there. So don't think that becoming a Stoic means you have to shut yourself off from the world. It means you have to shut yourself off from people. It's not. What you do instead is conversate with people, meet people, you know, make new friends and meet new people, you know, people you agree with, people you disagree with. You know, Stoicism will get you to meet new people and to not isolate. Another mistake people think is Stoics are cold-hearted. No, they're not. Like what I said earlier about Marcus Aurelius weeping over that man who got killed and how he couldn't forgive him and learn a lesson from him. Again, that shows he's not cold-hearted. Stoics are not cold-hearted. If you study Stoicism, you don't become cold-hearted. Again, like justice, you know, you're there to help other people and, you know, be kind to other people and be a kind of person and be a better person. You know, and I think people get this cold-hearted thing more so from, like, again, like the no emotions kind of side of things, but it's not true, you know. Stoics are not cold-hearted. Instead, they're probably one of the most kindest people ever. And one of the things that happened, you know, in the Bible, I can't remember who it was. I always forget this. It's bad because I should know. I think, who was it now? I put up who, anyways. This person is a person who goes and sees the Stoics in the Bible. I think it might be Peter. I don't know. Could it be? Anyways, he goes and sees the Stoics. Okay, and there's a lot of people in the Bible who, well, would have ignored him, who would have put him in prison or would have just disrespected him. Even like Israel, the great things God did for them, yet they still turned their back on him and still disrespected him and all. I mean, I suppose we're all do as humans, but it's just a point. But anyways, when whoever, since I keep forgetting, which is annoying, but whoever meets the Stoics in the Bible, the Stoics don't turn them away. You know, the Stoics take him up onto a mountain and they listen to what he has to say about Jesus Christ and the teachings. That, again, well, in that shows they're not cold-hearted people. It shows they're willing to listen to people. You know, they're willing to help. They go out and do things, and they're happy people. You know, they're not cold-hearted. You know, essentially they're more warm-hearted. But I kind of get what some people think about that. It's just like being like emotionless and all that. But again, they're not. So Stoics are not cold-hearted. Okay. Essentially, you become a better person, you become a more loving person, and through Stoicism, that definitely happened for me. I became more loving, I became more kind to people who I like, but especially to people I didn't like or people I didn't really get along with. So, yeah, you know, Stoicism isn't cold-hearted, it's not being cold-hearted, so that's another one. The last one we're going through, as I said, it's going to be a quick episode today, is boring life. Stoicism is not a boring life. it makes you more active, it makes you get out there, it makes you have a purpose in life, really. You know, like all these Stoics that do things like boxing, walking, fighting, swimming, running, painting, all this, they do all these different activities. And if there was, well, modern Stoics today, if there was there today like Marcus Aurelius, he probably would have done stuff like go out driving, or you know, something like that, or go out to, I don't know, places, you know. But yeah, you know, it's not a boring life, Stoicism. You only have a boring life if you make it boring. It's essentially there to get you out in the world, like I've said, and it's there to help you, and it's there to improve your life, to make it more purposeful, to give it more meaning, and it brightens your life up. It doesn't dull it. It doesn't make it boring. Now, yes, there is boring moments in life, but that's not Stoicism, you know. And when there is a boring moment in life, Stoicism can help with that and make it not as boring. So, you know, the fact that people say, "Ooh, Stoicism is boring," you know, it's like the Stoics had boring lives. No, they didn't. They had very extreme, they had very interesting lives, and that's what makes it great learning from them. Because, you know, yeah. But that is that. It is a quick episode, as I said, but I've gone through those things, and yeah, you know, sometimes it's nice to do a short episode, so that's what I have done. Yeah, hopefully it's done well. Also, I'll add this quick bit on, and now it's not going to be a short episode, but you know, it's quite exciting stuff. I got a car recently, right? Believe it or not, I put a picture up it, well over 600, very nice. Okay. And I'm happy to say that God is turning my life around, and I'm happy to say that I'm going to be driving that car soon, and I'm going to drive it everywhere, and that actually might mean I can have a guest on my podcast. Might be you, Blake. It might be you, Blake. Whoever knows. I'll pull up outside your house one day. How's it going? Let's go. Where are we going? Somewhere. And then boom, make an episode of my podcast. But yeah, it's a good thing. So I'm excited for that. That's just a little insight to my life, what's going on recently. In fact, today I've kind of done nothing, and the reason why I'm recording so late is because I've been cleaning it out and sorting it out and all that stuff that I'm driving it. So yeah, the book I recommend is one I read called Stoic Truths, Uncovering the Lies. It's about that what I've just gone through, you know. It goes about uncovering the lies and all that stuff about Stoicism, and it tells you what it actually is, like what I've done in today's episode, you know, and it says all of that what I've said is in there and more, so go check it out if you want an even deeper understanding of all this. So yeah, link in bio or link in description below, but that's the book I recommend. And the wisdom I will give you is a bit of wisdom, but it's more motivation. It's this: you only live once, but you are dying every day. Okay? So you need to live your life, you know, live your purpose, chase your dreams, chase your goals, and meet the people you want to meet. Date the person you want to date, do the things you want to do, not stupid stuff, but, you know, fulfilling stuff, and live a purposeful and good life to the best you can, and play with the cards you've been dealt with. Okay? People say you only die once, but no, you die every day. Time gone is time dead. Keep that in mind, you know. Please live a purposeful life. And on that note, you know, whenever someone tells you all this stuff about Stoicism, make sure they're telling you the truth and not some lies. Like, if they come up to you and now say, Stoicism's emotionless, don't do it, you can go up to them and go, sorry pal, that's a load of crap. It's actually, the Stoics had control of emotions. So there we go. But I thank you for watching today's episode, and I'll see you next time.